Hi friends, Valerie Turner with Close to My Heart, and here we are onto the right side of layout number 1. I thought that it might be better to do these in separate videos, that way it gave for a nice breaking point. Here is the right side of layout number 1 for Cake Day. You'll see that this layout is completed almost per the instructions. There are a couple of changes that have been made to this layout in order to accommodate our flip flaps. You'll also notice that I added dimension. Okay, so I popped this up here. Okay, popped this up here, popped the cake up down here. I added a little bit of dimension, and you can see all of the shine on the liquid glass. Okay. When putting this layout together, you'll remember from the cutting instructions that I provided that we cut the wild berry paper a little bit larger than the directions asked for to add a little bit of more of a border between the patterns, right? Just a little bit more pleasing on the eye, so you'll want to pay attention to that. The other things I'm going to point out here are these little banners here. I did not put on my photos, nor did I put this cake time on there either. Those items are going to be on our flip flaps. Okay, so when we put our layout in the flip flaps, in the page protector, when you put your layout in the page protector, these are glued on the top of the flip flaps. Same with this Cake Day. Okay, so we have our flip flaps here, here, here. There's another one down here. I have my camera a little bit closer. I know after the last video, the layout one, somebody asked if I could be a little bit closer on camera, so I'm trying to get a little bit closer there for you. So I'm sorry if the whole thing is not in, but I'll be sure to show all the pieces. Okay, so we have those 4 flip flaps around the outside there. And then here in the center, we have that Cake Day sticker is on the flip flap. Okay, so this opens like this. And then we open up here again. And then this here is a PML card, which I cut down, and it is placed over the top. Okay, so there's no page protector on this, but these flip flaps are going to protect that. Okay. So this here was a 3x4 pocket PML card, 3x4, and I cut a 1/2 inch off the top and a 1/2 inch off the bottom, and that is just glued down there. Now, Barbara is also doing a PML cards, doing cards with the PML kits. I think even though we tried to keep the PML cards different between the layouts and the cards, I think this one might have gotten used twice. I think she has it with this side. If that is the case, no worries. There are extra PML cards in the kit that you can use. You just need a 3x3 piece to put here. There is even extra pattern paper that you can choose to use as well. So no worries if you need to switch one up or the other, okay? Let's start assembling the right side of layout number 1. Per our instructions, our pieces are a 1/4 on this white part. They're a 1/4 of an inch down and a 1/4 of an inch over, and then they're a 1/4 of an inch apart, okay? So you guys may have heard me say a number of times before, I don't know what's happened with my eyes, but I have a really hard time lining things up and getting things straight. So using our Versamat is very important for me. Also, another little trick that I have is that I put a little bit of adhesive on the back of my white paper so that it's not sliding on my mat. and I will use a rub and remove eraser to remove that adhesive once I am done, okay? Or in this case, I won't need to remove that adhesive because I'm gonna need to glue this piece onto my wild berry piece anyways. Okay, so I have a ruler. This is one of the close to my heart rulers. We do not currently carry a ruler, so any ruler will do. But I do like this one because it is clear and has all of the different measurements as well as a little stitch guide down here. Okay, so I have gone ahead and measured out, and I put a little mark with my pencil where I'm going to put that first one and where I'm going to put that last one. I am not always a person that measures. I often just look at the picture and just go to town putting it together, but I do like things straight, and I do like to see, you know, the spacing correct and things like that. So in a layout like this, I do use some measurements and some guidelines. So I know where I'm gonna put that one, and because I made the mark down here, I know where I'm gonna put this one, which means that this one is going to be, oops, I'm putting it in the wrong spot. This one's gonna go down here, and this one's gonna get in the middle, which makes it easy for me now because I'm truly just gonna center that one in the middle of the two, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and put those down. Another little trick that I have for you is that when I am doing pieces like this where you want to line everything up, I often just put a little bit of adhesive behind each one so that I can get them lined up. And then once I know that I have my placement exactly where I want it, then I can, you know, lift my corners and get additional adhesive underneath there as I need to. And you know, when a layout is in a page protector anyways, the page protector is going to help hold everything in place as well. So in all honesty, I don't use as much adhesive on my layouts as I would on, say, a card, right? Okay, so let's go ahead and get these pieces. I'm gonna go ahead and sit down here, and hopefully I stay on camera and don't get my head in here too much. But I'm gonna go ahead and glue these pieces down. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and put this one right here. And then I'm gonna go ahead and put this one down at the bottom. And by placing these pieces, I've covered up that little pencil line. I'm also looking to see, trying to keep a uniform amount of space between here and here. Okay, that's another way to know that you're lined up 1/4 of an inch, is that it should be uniform on both the top and the side there. And this one I'm going to go ahead and okay, so now I have those pieces lined up, and I can check them with my ruler. So I have 1/4 of an inch and 1/4 of an inch, and we are good. Okay. Now we know that our next one, there's going to be 1/4 of an inch in between, so it looks like these are ending at 1/2. So the next one's gonna be over 3 3/4. And again, I'm just gonna make myself a little pencil mark here at the quarter. Okay, and I'm gonna do the same down here. Okay, and I'm gonna make sure that we are, and I know I'm getting my head up in there. Let me move this down a little bit for a minute. Okay, making sure we're still on that quarter line up there. And I'm gonna make sure that we are at the half down here. All right, so now I'm gonna put my next piece. Okay, and the next one is going to be our orange, our yellow, orange, our yellow, and then the wild berry stripe. Okay, make sure I'm lined up here and here. Okay, I'm gonna do this one next. And this one right in between. Okay. And then our next one is going to go over a quarter again. So that's going to put us at 7 1/4. So I'm going to draw my little line right here and down here. Okay, so this one we are going to have this one, and this one. And I see I did the lighter over here, so I'm going to do the lighter over here. Okay, so we're going to do here. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and put these ones down, making sure I'm lined up. And if you're not exact, it's okay, because nobody's going to study it like that. They're going to be focusing on your pictures, right? Okay, and then this one I'm going to do in the middle. And then this one I decided I have something a little off. There. There we go. So now we have our background completed. Okay, and I could go and add additional adhesive under my corners if I choose. I've got a bad adhesive here, driving me a little crazy. Okay, so now the next thing that we want to do is we're going to adhere this piece onto our wild berry. Okay, now we are ready to start decorating our right side. I've got our cake sticker here that we put our liquid glass on the frosting and on our flames to our candle, super fun. I have my anti-static pouch because I'm going to remove the sticky from the back of this so that I can add some 3D foam tape behind it. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Just putting, I was doing it off camera so I didn't get powder on my layout, but just so I can show you, I'm just putting this anti-static pouch on the back of the sticker, so then it makes it so it's not sticky, right? Okay, now I'm going to add some 3D foam tape to the back of this. Here. And we can remove all of these because we don't have to worry about a picture going here. So I'm going to go ahead and put this here, and it just barely fits in that slat, that spot there. Okay, and then there is a sticker that says party, and that one's going to go here as well. And before I stick it down all the way, there is a little one of these that we can use as well. Don't quite want that one so big. Let's see, what else do we have? I'll use one of these, and I'm just going to tuck that under there and then put that down. You could also go over this with liquid glass as well. And I decided that I'm going to add a little bit more adhesive. You can use glue dots on the back of those. They work really nice. I just stuck a little bit of my adhesive, which works as well. Okay, the next thing that we're going to do here is put our, now for you, this will be photos, right? Here I'm just sticking the place card holders, but on yours it will be photos. Okay, and I didn't put a lot of adhesive on those. These come in your kit, so if you want to put them down before you put your photos, you can, or if you want your photos to have a white border, this works nice too. You just trim your photos slightly smaller. I am going to go ahead and put these down now. I don't have photos right here with me. The other thing is that I'm just putting a little bit of adhesive on the back of these. So if I decide when I put my photos that I want to remove them, I can. But for now, for the sake of our video, I would like to have them there. Okay. And I'm just going to double check to make sure I'm good in the camera here. Okay, and then we have our pieces, our die cut pieces. We have this piece here, and we have some circles. We have this one, 2 yellow ones, and an orange one. Excuse my reach here as I'm reaching across. Okay, so the orange one's going to go in the middle. Okay, and I did put some foam tape behind this one. Our non-stick close to my heart scissors work nice for the foam tape, but so does also just tearing it works good too. No one's gonna see it under there. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and put that down. Okay, and then I'm gonna adhere these little circles. I decided I needed to move them up just a tad. Okay. All right, then we have another one of these little embellishments. So I'm going to put one of these up here and one of these over here. And then a big one up here. This one decided to pop out, so I'm just going to set it aside so I don't lose it. And another little one up here as well. There is these two pieces here, which we are going to banner. And the way I do that is I cut up the middle and then meet it from the ends. Okay, so there's one, and then the other. Okay, so now we have those. And these pieces are going to get glued down. I glued the orange one first. And then the yellow one goes slightly over it. We have a fun sticker. Again, this was a sticker that we put liquid glass on. I'm going to use my anti-static pouch or embossing buddy here to remove the sticky. And I'm going to put a little bit of the foam tape behind it. So we got some foam tape. I'm going to use my anti-static pouch. And for this one, I already have foam tape under here. I'm just going to put the foam tape under part of this hat, and I'm going to use the thin this time because it's already going to be raised up over here from the journaling spot there. So I'm just going to put a little bit there to help make it flat so it's raised up on this side. And then we have a little pink heart. Just going to come in over here. Again, glue dots work really good for these little things too, but so does the adhesive. You can also use liquid glass, works great too. Okay, and now the last thing that we are going to do on the base part of the right side of layout number 1 is to add the black onyx liquid pearls. There are a few places, and I did this exactly per the workshop instructions, but there are 3 dots up here and 3 dots down here. You know, when you create your layouts, you always want to work in like a triangle pattern so you can see the embellishments and the liquid glass all make a triangle there. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do that here as well. And then we're going to set that aside and let it dry before we work on the page protector part. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. So we are going to put a dot right here and another one right here. And another one over here. And then down here on the bottom, I'm gonna do here and over here. If you do it in a little bit of a circular motion, you're less likely to get that little point on it. Okay. So now I'm gonna you wanna make sure you wipe your tip, tap it down so it doesn't get stuck, clogged up there, and we will let this set aside and dry before we work on our page protector part here, right? Because it needs to dry first. So we'll go ahead and set this aside. Okay, once you have your page protector, you want to make sure that your layout is secure all the way down into your page protector. A couple of little tips here. You can see how I have this layout in the page protector. It's not sticking out at the top, but if you look closely, it is not down all the way here at the bottom. So if I was to put my flip flaps on my page protector now, at some point over the years, over time, my layout will work its way all the way down to the bottom of the page protector, and then my flip flaps won't line up correctly. Okay, so tip number one about flip flaps is to make sure that your scrapbook layout is securely into the page protector all the way down to the bottom. Okay. The second tip, and I tell you this from experience, okay? My second tip for you is that when you're putting your page in your page protector and you're getting ready to do your flip flaps, always make sure that you have your holes on the right side. Okay, so I should say on the correct side, not literally the right side, but the correct side. Okay, so you want to make sure that you have your holes for your page protector on the correct side. For example, if I had my holes on this side, my layouts would be backwards, right? So I want this one to be on the right side and this one to be on the left side. And before I start putting flip flaps down, I want to make sure that my holes are going to line up correctly into my album in the center versus having one with the holes on the wrong side. Okay, so you want to make sure the first two tips are make sure that your layout is seated securely into the page protector and make sure your holes for your layout are on the correct side. Okay, so for this layout, we are going to use 8 flip flaps. If you're like me, you take a lot of pictures and you want to use them all in a layout. For example, I can think about my mother's 75th 70, did we do 70 or 75th? Oh my goodness, I'm drawing a blank right now. Her 75th birthday party. And I took a lot of pictures. I actually had a photo area set up, and before everybody went to get their food from the buffet line, they stopped and we took a picture of everybody. So I had that keepsake for my mom. I actually put them in a little album for my mom. I had everybody write some words to her, and they all went into an album. But I would like to scrapbook those for me as well, and so there's lots of pictures. So flip flaps are perfect for lots of pictures. But if you say, you know what, Val, I don't take that many pictures, or for whatever occasion I'm doing, I don't have that many pictures, that's okay. You can use flip flaps for journaling. You can use flip flaps for memorabilia. You can use flip flaps for things like a baby's first haircut, put a little lock of hair and seal it in. There's lots of different ways that you can use flip flaps. Or also keep in mind, because I'm using 8 on this layout does not mean that you need to, but I'm showing you a technique on doing flip flaps that you know that you can either use on this layout and you can use on future layouts as well. Okay, so we're going to start with the 4 outside ones first. Just like I said with the layout, with making sure that your layout is seated correctly into your page protector, you want to do the same thing with your photo when you're putting it in the flip flap. Make sure that it is seated all the way down in there, because I use my photo or my placeholder here as my way of lining up. So what I'm doing is I'm lining the photo or that placeholder up onto my photo mat. Okay, so you want to make sure that it is straight. And this one we're going to have fold out this way. I've creased my this, I put the rib side down. I've creased it and folded it. Okay, so I'm ready to place that one there. This one is going to go up here. This one is going to go over here. And this one is going to go down here. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and put these 4 first. I'm going to sit down here and try not to get my head in the camera and try to be sure that you can see okay. All right, so let's go ahead and do these 4. So the first thing that you want to do, like I said, is get this seated correctly into your flip flap, and I've got a good crease here that helps to stick that down. You're going to go ahead and peel this off. They are a little staticky. I've got my embossing buddy right here next to me. I'm going to go ahead and pull this a little bit closer to me. Hopefully you can still see okay on the camera. And I'm going to line up my photo or my photo mat right onto that other photo or photo mat. Okay, so there we've got that one. This one's going to open up like that. Over here I've done the same thing. I've creased it. I'm going to remove that adhesive, that backing, and I'm going to place this one right here, lining it up over this photo mat. Okay. And one over here. Okay, I've given it a good crease, and we're going to go ahead and line this one up there. So these are going to open out. I'm going to move this up a little bit so hopefully you can see okay in the camera. This one's going to come down, so we're going to do this one on the bottom. Okay, so we put it on the bottom. Whoops. I try not to touch on that adhesive strip so you don't want it to lose its sticky, number 1, and number 2, if you touch on it, you get fingerprints in it. Okay, so go ahead and make sure those are all sealed down nicely. So there we have those 4 on the outside. Okay, so the next ones, these ones get a little funner because we're going to just layer them on top of each other. Okay. So the first thing that we're going to do is take our 4 flip flaps, and we're going to put our photos, or in my case I'm putting my place card holders in them. Okay, so I'm going to make sure that all of my pictures are going the correct way. All right, So now we are going to start with the top and the bottom. I'm going to do the top one first. Make sure you can see me okay in the camera. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and do this top one first. We've got our picture seated in there. We've creased this. I'm going to go ahead and remove that. And I'm going to line this up right over that existing photo mat, just like we did. You want to make sure you're not sealing this one down. Okay. Okay, and then we're going to do the bottom one. And I'm going to put this one right on. I can't see. I got to pull it down a little bit more towards me. Sorry about that. Try not to get my head in there and make sure I can see what I'm doing. Okay, again, making sure we're not sealing this one, right? Okay, now we're going to go ahead and open those up. Make sure these two center ones are open so that you can now add your side ones. Okay, and I'm going to line this one up. Okay, and then open that one. So see, we're building them all right here. Okay. And then my last one, just going to turn this to make it a little bit easier. Okay. All right, so now what we've created, we've got the top and the top and the bottom, and then our sides, right? All in the center right there. Okay. Now, you could leave this like this and put a picture under there, but you remember I said that I put a PML card there. If you used this particular PML card in your cards with Barbara, there are others you can use, or there is pattern paper you can use here as well. There's lots of choices, so don't feel like you have to use this one, but I just stuck that one there. You can even put a photo there, right? Just like I said, okay? So again, this is on top of your page protector, okay? All right, so then we have those like that, and like that, and then like that. And then there was a sticker. The sticker is Cake Time. I put that one on here, and you want to make sure that you're staying within this particular flip flat because you don't want to accidentally go over and seal these all down, right? So just make sure it's on just that one. These here, you're going to punch out your little circles. Right? Everything's a little staticky. Okay. And I should have my little all-purpose mat here, but I didn't bring it over here, so I'm just going to go ahead and put adhesive on there. Okay. And then these are going to go on top of your flip flat. Okay, can you see that okay? On top of your flip flat. Okay, and then this one on top of here. You could put these on the inside of your page protector, the little flip flap, if you chose, but I put them on the outside. I don't once they're in your album, I don't find that there's any trouble. They're good and sticky. I don't find any trouble with them being on the outside, and I also think that it adds a little bit more texture and dimension to your layout. So I actually like to put things sometimes on the outside of my page protectors. It's just one more layer of dimension and texture. All right, so there is, are you ready? We've got here, we've got here, we've got here, and we've got down here at the bottom, right? And then we've got here, 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 and here. Look how fun that is. It's like a little explosion box type thing on your layout. So much fun. I hope that you have enjoyed Cake Day layout number 1, left side with all that fun liquid glass, and our right side with our explosion of flip flaps. All right, ladies, I look forward to seeing you in layout number 2.